So about 3 months ago, I was committed to making videos on here and sharing them. And I said in the last one that I would make one talking about my depression more. And I'm not sure um, what I'm going to talk about with that, honestly. I know I titled this one Depression 1, but part of that is because I just want to talk about the resistance I had in doing this. I mean, it's been 3 months. I was sure I would do it in a week or two, and I kept finding reasons not to do it. Maybe because I don't want to disclose that much. Maybe because the stigmatization that I'm afraid I'll experience um, has prevented me, or although I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of brainstorming here because I decided I was going to do it today no matter what. And I was finding excuses not to do it today. It's already 2 hours after I thought I would have done it because I've been watching the older videos and thinking about what I would say. But I guess I should say it. So I was diagnosed with depression, and I think in the video called Addiction, I talk about I had an addiction. The depression probably started before the addiction, although I don't think the depression caused the addiction. It might have been a contributing factor. Um, but anyhow, and I mentioned in another video, maybe my history in 4 minutes or whatever, that I've had, suicide attempts in my life, multiple suicide attempts in my life, both while addicted and following treatment for the addiction, which kind of, I guess, certifies, if I want to use that term, that I actually had a major depressive disorder. Um, and I had been diagnosed with it, and as I mentioned, prescribed medication, which I shortly thereafter gave up taking. Um, I still struggle with it at times. You know, people in my life have called me moody. I'll get down, or what they think is down, for apparently no reason. Um, I think we all have ups and downs. We all have, our chemistry, the physicality of our being, the chemistry of our brain ebbs and flows, and I have days when I feel like no matter, even bad things happen and it doesn't phase me, and then I have days where good things are happening and I'm still kind of miserable. So I think that's normal to an extent. Um, the ebb and flow. So I still struggle with it at times. I still have thoughts that are very depressing. I think I mentioned in another video, and if I haven't, I'll mention it now, that my first reaction is almost always negative. Um, I was using this example with a client last night that I'll get an email from a student and I'll be like, what the fuck do you want now? And it'll be an email telling me what a great professor I am and thanking me for my dedication to the class. And I'm like, what an asshole I am. Like, how big a jerk am I that my first thought is that negative? Um, but by and large, I consider myself a happy person today. And that's taken a lot of work. One thing I do want to say, though, is that if you saw me, if you lived with me, or if you followed me around for a week, you probably wouldn't think, even in those times, that I was depressed. Like, a lot of people were surprised that I'm depressed because I joke around a lot and always have. Um, so I guess one of the points I wanted to make that I think is important is that you can't always tell somebody's depressed from the outside. A lot of comedians have struggled with depression. They seem like, they're having a good time and they're joking around and they're, doing whatever, but at the same time, inside, they're miserable. And, you know, maybe they don't see the point in continuing. Um, but that isn't always the case. But sometimes you can see someone who's depressed, like they spend a lot of time in bed and they don't go to work and they call out, and I've had clients for sure that description of depression fits. And then there's people more like me that on the outside everything has seemed fine, but inside, I'm contemplating suicide. Not recently, and I don't want to give the impression that I'm depressed today. As I said, I consider myself a pretty happy person. All right. Next video will tell you how I got there, I guess. Thanks.